Hi guys, this is Vidas again and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you what chords should be used with caution, right? Very carefully, and they have special rules. Sometimes I see people create tonal compositions which actually should adhere to some rules of tonal harmony because they are in this style, even though it's created in 21st century and you can do whatever you want, but the style dictates some rules, and if you um, obey those rules, your harmony and voice leading becomes more beautiful, and you can break away from these rules once in a while to make it even more beautiful, but you have to know those rules first. So this is tutorial about some of these situations. um, let's see on the keyboard what I mean. I'm going to use vintage harmonium Harmona 85 electric harmonium. And let's look at C major key and C major chord. This is tonic chord basically. If we play with four voices, we could do this or this. 6 positions basically. 3 in closed position, 3 in open position. Alright, this is root position chord if you start with the first scale degree. What happens if you want to use a first inversion chord, E, G, C? That's very often used chord, and it has all kinds of applications. It's great to use E, G, C. Right? So it doesn't raise many problems, this kind of chord, except if it's dominant 6 chord, if it's a leading note in the bass, in the bass, then you have to be a little careful how you resolve this leading note. But then there is a second inversion from the 5th scale degree, G, C, E. And in 4-voice harmony, it could be like this, or this. Also 6 different positions. 3 in closed position, 3 in open position. So this chord actually needs to be treated very carefully. It has some rules when to use them and when not to use them. Actually, just 3 instances when to use second inversion chord, right? The first instance is let's say in cadences. Tonic 6/4 chord could be called cadential 6/4 chord. This is second inversion tonic chord, and it's perfectly allowed to do this kind of progression like this. Or subdominant cadential 6/4 chord, dominant chord, and tonic chord. This is perfectly suitable. But 6/4 chord, cadential 6/4 chord, should be always on the strong beat. Right? Stronger than the dominant chord following it, and stronger than the subdominant chord preceding it. like this. It should be accented. The second situation when you could use 6/4 chord or second inversion chord is in neighbor tones between the same chord, basically. If we have a chord from the same scale degree that the root position chord, C major, F major, but starting from C. So C major root position chord and subdominant F major 4/2 chord. So between two tonic chords, between two stronger beats, you could involve like a second inversion chord, like this. It's called actually plagal supplement, plagal cadence, or something like that. At the end of the piece, often was used in Baroque times to establish, to reinforce the key. Or this. That's perfectly fine. Between two root position chords, which are perfect fourth or perfect fourth apart, not fifth. And the third situation where you could use 6/4 chord is passing chords. For example, starting with the tonic, then you could have dominant 6/4 chord and then tonic 6 chord. But then the rule is to use contrary motion between the outer voices, usually 1, 2, 3 and 3 to 1 scale degrees. Like this. It could be like this. Like this. But most often those contrary motion degrees appear in the outer voices. And notice that the chords are perfect fifth apart, tonic and dominant. Right? For example, subdominant and tonic could be like this too. Subdominant root position chord, F, C, F, A, tonic 6/4 chord, G, C, E, G, and subdominant first inversion chord, A, C, F, F. Again, contrary motion between outer voices, exchanging 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4 in terms of scale degrees. And this way you could use in any other situations, if you want to use 6/4 chord or second inversion chord, you better substitute it with the root position chord or first inversion chord if you want, or actually fourth dominant 4/3 chord, not 6/4 chord, because otherwise it's against the tonal harmony rules, right? So three situations: cadential 6/4 chord, tonic 6/4 chord, then what is called neighbor tones between two chords of the same scale degree, tonic and tonic, and then you could have subdominant 6/4 chord in between of them. Or dominant and tonic dominant. Dominant root position chord, tonic 6/4 chord, and dominant, like this. Let me show you. Dominant, tonic 6/4 chord, and again dominant chord. That's neighbor tones. And the third rule is obviously passing chords. Right? For 6/4 chord is in the middle, and between the in outer, basically this chord is in the middle, and the first chord should be tonic, and the last chord should be tonic 6 chord, or vice versa, opposite. Could be the first could be 6 chord, and the last chord could be root position chord also, or this way, and it's perfectly allowed like this. All right, so hopefully this was useful to you. Applying in your compositions, harmonizations, and improvisations with caution, only in those three situations. And the of course, situation where I should demonstrate again, cadential 6/4 chord, like this, subdominant, cadential 6/4, dominant 7th, and tonic, or without the 7th, just dominant chord. Okay, those are perfectly usable examples and situations to use second inversion chord, 3-note chord, or 6/4 chord. All right, hopefully this was useful to you. Practice and let me know how it goes. Thanks so much. This was Vidas. I'll catch you online in the next tutorial. Bye bye.